Hello and welcome to episode 79 of Masters of the Forge. I'm here with Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Adam. Hello, everyone.
And in spirit, that's Jim Vladik. That's a delightful White Russian that I'm having. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so what's this episode? This is going to be a one-take, one-segment episode. Boom.
We're doing it live.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Papa Bear O'Reilly, we're doing it live.
Nice.
We've been kind of struggling to get an actual episode topic completed for many reasons. It's been just the holidays.
Yeah.
And then last week, all week, I was, let's just say I was a double-ended, a lawn sprinkler, except not water.
I like to call it the Texas Twister. You can run with that however you want, man.
Yeah, so this episode we're just going to be talking about, what's going to be happening in the coming year. It's kind of a New Year's episode, and we're going to get a fresh start in a couple weeks or a week or whatever, with episode 70. Okay, so we're kind of just hitting the reset button here, and hopefully you enjoy the conversation.
Yeah,
so,
plus you've got terrain, young man, that you need to work on.
Oh my God, yeah, that's also
hold
true.
On. Sorry, that's what we've been up to recently. Sorry, ignore that part. We'll finish the intro.
Well, we're just past what we're drinking, right? So I guess we're moving into what we've been up to.
I guess so. Full disclosure, drinking water and root beer, and just so that everyone knows, I am recording without pants because it is 75 degrees here.
I hate you so much.
In January. Oh, you just wait till July whenever I'm screaming and burning to death, and wishing that Bill's snowball that he's saving for me was actually on my head. All right.
That's hilarious.
Tomorrow it is getting cold though. It's supposed to drop down to 42. So,
wow.
Yeah. That'll be nice.
Oh yeah, the whole country. I saw a map of the prediction for the coming weekend, and it's only Florida is going to be warm, basically. It's basically Florida and Hawaii are going to be fine. Everybody else is just going to suck.
Yeah. I'm still, used to the cold weather. The heat's still kind of hurting me some days. So
yeah. So what have I been up to? I want to get some hobby tips out of this, so that it's not just me talking about what I've been up to. First of all, I worked on and finished the Frontline Gaming tournament buildings, and that's going to be one table at the GT that's coming up in a few weeks. That was really cool. It was tough to build. I described how it was to build in a previous episode. It took to the paint pretty well. What I do with buildings like that is I spray them the base color of whatever it is, and so in this case they were gray. I sprayed them gray, but then I do a kind of a fade up of the Valspar Labrador Brown that I use all the time. The one I get from what is it called? Not Home Depot, the other one. Lowe's, yeah, I get it from Lowe's. And that's really good, and I base all these on... Well, those come with bases. I also built a Mechanicus table, which was dutifully supplied to us by Games Workshop for our tournament. And yay! So I made two very large buildings. Like I said, I talked about building it in a previous episode, how we have two big buildings in the middle, two medium ones in the periphery, and then two small ones in each corner, and then I used some scatter terrain. When I painted that red, and then I did the fade up of the. Oh, I painted more of a burgundy color, and then I highlighted. I did like kind of a spray highlight from above, like a pre-shading almost, or with like zenithal highlight of just another rattle can of a brighter red. But then I went in and with the Labrador brown painted the bases and worked my way up a little bit, so it kind of had a darker, dirtier bottom part. And the bases for those use hardboard from me. You can get that from Lowe's or Home Depot. You find it over with the rest of the thin board. I think it's over near the MDF, but it's not MDF. It's a different kind of board. So
it's
what
like a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, I don't think it's even a quarter. I think it's an 1/8 of an inch. I don't remember, but it's nice and thin. And what I just use white glue and sand for the basing, and I super glue the ruins right on the board, and then I put on the sand. What I do though is I use plastic clamps to clamp the board to the table while the glue is drying, because the white glue, even though it's wood, it'll still like pull and curl the board up. But the good thing is, if the board already has a curl in it, the white glue, when it dries with the clamps, it'll dry flat. Because it'll hold it, right? Because it's glue. Yeah. So that's nice. The board doesn't actually have to be flat when you put your stuff on it. You just have to make sure to clamp it while it dries, and it'll stay flat, which is pretty nice.
That is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. That's pretty nice. Yeah, we're going to be talking about terrain a lot in this episode, aren't we?
Oh, we certainly are. I mean, I know that you've been. What have you been doing with terrain?
Okay, so terrain. We'll just talk about terrain.
Yeah.
That Zone Mortalis board, I built it. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I started when I was in New York, and I gave you. You
gave me all of it, and you had to start over again.
Pretty much. I was afraid it wasn't going to survive the trip to Texas. I was just really kind of scared about that. And I was like, well, I'd rather it have a good home than get trashed in the back of, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I built a 4x4 Zone Mortalis board, so it's all 1 foot by 1 foot tile. So I've got 16 of those. I learned quite a bit from building this board. I've built terrain before, but I haven't built a board of tiles like this. And made a few mistakes. Made a couple. Mistakes were made, but as Bob Ross has to say, we don't make mistakes, just happy accidents.
Amen.
Yeah. So what's happening was, for those of you who haven't seen the pictures on the 1 Hour a Night page, I've taken these MDF tiles that I cut to 1 by 1, and then I put what's called granny grid or plastic canvas. It's used for knitting. So it looks like there's a grid floorboard. And to attach it, I'm using hot glue gun, which is cool. The issue is sometimes hot glue can be sloppy. Yeah, let's go with sloppy.
Yeah, and hot.
And both thumbs and a couple of fingers are familiar with that.
When you can't operate the biometrics on your phone because you burned your fingers so badly.
Yeah, actually I could not for a couple of days. My left thumb, I guess, had some problems, so my right thumb was having to open my phone. Lovely. Anyway, so as I said, it was sloppy, so there are areas where the glue has risen through the grid. But as I looked, I was like, well, this could be just a Tyranid Space Hulk thing. And I could paint that white and then put some green glow on it, which I did in the version that you have. There's a couple of places. So, yeah, this thing's going to be very Nid-like. There was one piece of board that had a huge knot in it whenever I bought it for the walls, and I decided to knock it out.
Oh.
And I'm going to turn that into battle damage, or a place where make it look like something could come through the walls. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot. Be careful with hot glue. MDF and wood will soak up any primer that you have. It'll just eat it, and so I'm using it's also from Lowe's. It's like, it's Valspar as well, but it's like the cheapest primer they have.
Right, yeah.
And it's flat black. Get the flat black. The gloss looks like gloss, so be careful.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But yeah, that's what I have built and primed. I still have a lot more work on it, like details and adding terrain and other stuff. And I need to do a second prime, but that's pretty cool.
All right, cool. Well, since we spoke, I don't believe when we spoke last that I had really put any paint on my Imperial Knights yet.
Nope. You have not talked about that yet.
So, I decided to just go ahead and paint one. I don't know what the impetus was. I think like I couldn't work on the terrain for some reason. Maybe because I was lazy. Oh no, it was more like a Christmas present to myself. I sat down. So I sat down and did that. I sprayed them all the silver, and I started with a very dark silver that I got from the store, like a very, very, very dark, not textured, obviously, that would ruin the models. Then I went through the entire army, every body and every piece that I have detached. I went through and I dry brushed with, what is it called? Lead Belcher. Which, I'll tell you what, that took a lot longer than I was expecting it to. That took a really long time to sit there and dry brush all those pieces. And then I went through and I dry brushed again, with a lighter dry brush of the, what is it? Iron Breaker.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just up from that. And then after that, I went through again and did an extremely light dry brush of Runefang Steel, but only over certain areas. I didn't do the inner body in the Runefang Steel. I did any of the exposed edging and stuff. Like if I had like a shoulder plate or a leg plate on the external, it got that. So I want the internal metal to be a different tone than the external metal.
Okay.
Kind of like doing a two-tone instead of a contrasting color. It's like a lot of people, they do the metal interior, or like the steel interior, and then they do gold exterior. These are just all going to have the silver color on the exterior, just a brighter one than the inside. No wash. I chose not to do the wash because I think the dry brush does a great job of giving the models depth. So I went through and I finally decided on how I was going to do the black bodies. I took... what's it called? I got it right here. Incubi Darkness.
Oh, okay.
It's a base, but it's meaningless. It's a color. Incubi Darkness and obviously Abaddon Black. And like I base coated each panel Abaddon Black, and this was only on one of the knights. This is a Knight Warden with a fist. I based it Abaddon Black, a nice thin coat, not a heavy coat. And once those were dry, I went over and I started doing a blend between the Incubi Darkness and the Abaddon Black. And I did those one panel at a time instead of trying to do layers. I really don't have patience for multiple thin layers. I really don't. So instead I took the Abaddon Black and I started fading it with Incubi Darkness for all the plates. For the first one, which is Maleficent, these are all going to be based on dragons of literary or movie history, literary, whatever. They're all from, obviously not real history. All different famous dragons. So the first one was Maleficent, which is the witch/dragon from Snow White. So the secondary color was purple. And I did the same thing. I took the Abaddon Black and I faded up to the purple. So it's a very dark, deep purple. You can still tell the difference, though.
Yeah.
But it's hard because you have to, since I'm not following a real formula of this much to this much, right? Every panel has to come out just so, or else it can look very different from panel to panel, but the same color, right?
Yeah.
I'm not following a real this much purple, this much black. It's more like paint it. Does it look right? No, start over, right? Like, so that's kind of how I'm doing it. And I did the one shoulder pad in the bright green flames, and I painted the dragon on there, and I think it looks pretty good. And I did that, and I'm like, that looks pretty good, but you know, I started. Somebody raised the question, like, "Hey, what if are you doing this different Disney character for each one?" I'm like, I don't like Disney that much. But then I was like, wait a minute. I think it was Zach. I'm not sure, or Sean, one of those guys.
I remember seeing it
on 1 Hour a Night, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. What if I did a different dragon for each one instead? So that's when I started to think about doing, instead of all of them purple and Maleficent, like, I could do different dragons. So I decided, all right, what the hell? I'll do Drogon next. So I painted another knight. And this is the stompy one with the big stompy foot. It's a knight, the one without the shooty gun. Anyways, I did kind of a dark red fade for that one instead of the purple. I still did the black with Incubi Darkness, and the metal is all the same. It's just that alternate color is different, and the shoulder pad has a mural of the actual Drogon from the books and TV show, Breathing Flame.
Cool.
And I thought that looked really great. I was a little concerned because, you know, a lot of the advice I got was like, well, it might not look like a cohesive theme, and I agreed. That's why I was like, I'll do Drogon because the red can become purple really easily.
Mm-hmm.
And a mural doesn't really have, you don't have to worry about it being too flat because the patterns are very difficult. You know, they're crisscrossy and everything. So if I did another mural on top of that mural, you wouldn't really tell how chunky the paint was.
Yeah.
So when I did that, I noticed, you know what, the black and the silver and the placement of the imagery is enough to tie it together in a cohesive scheme, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember looking at that and talking to you about that.
Yeah. So I'm really glad about that. Oh, the only thing I have left to do is decals. I bought some Space Marine decals to get some Roman numerals. And I have on order some High Elf decals from like the 90s, which there's some old dragon heraldry on there.
Oh.
The only thing is I don't know how big they are. I bought them and ordered them. They're on their way now. I don't know if that's actually going to fit in the heraldry kind of coat of arms that I have created. I might have to adjust because I'm not going to get different decals. I'm just going to use those decals. I'm not going to hand paint them because I want that above everything else. That heraldry has to be exactly the same for each.
Yeah.
For each night. So
it's a good way to keep it cohesive. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely want to use the decal. So if it's too big, I kind of quartered the coat of arms. And if it doesn't fit in one of the quarters, instead I'll make it. I'll increase the size of. I'll do a single dragon in the center of the coat of arms and try to do some stuff around it.
That'll work. That'll be cool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do like the top of the coat of arms will have a symbol befitting that, or one of the quarters will have a symbol befitting that knight. So the seneschal will have a crowned, like a helm with a crown on it. Like the melee guys will have an axe. You know, the troops will have a sword. You know, stuff like that. So that should be cool.
That does sound cool.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to Tiamat, actually.
Yeah, I'm a little unsure how I'm going to go ahead and do that because the Tiamat of a myth is very different from the Tiamat of D&D, and I haven't really decided whether I'm going to go with D&D or history.
Yeah.
Same thing with Grendel. Grendel is very different when you look at history and when you look at myth as opposed to what it's become.
Right.
So the next one is going to be, I'm actually going to paint the Questoris Knight Styrax, and I'm going to do that as the Jabberwock, which will be a little bit easier. I'm going to do kind of a swampy green secondary color with the flames will be like swamp gas. So they're going to be blue flames. They're going to be natural gas flames. So that'll be cool. And I can't wait to paint up that Volkite, that giant Volkite cannon with the blue object source lighting on it. That'll be super sweet.
Oh, Volkite. Oh.
Yeah. What have you painted any? I know you've done a lot of assembly lately, right? And you've done some painting.
Yeah. I've done all sorts of crap. Sorry, I've done lots of assembly. Let's see. What did I do? I finally finished. Wow. Okay. Finally finished building the Tyranids Battle Force box that I got like a couple of years ago before I even moved to New York. Wait,
hold on. Record skip noise. Or whatever. Tyranids, say what?
Oh, I had this box. A friend of mine sold it to me for very little. Like, I basically paid just enough to say that he didn't give it to me. How about that? And so I was just wanting to build something because I just felt like building something that wasn't Marines. Mm-hmm. So I built that, but I've been working on it for over 2 years. So I finally got the stupid thing finished because I don't have the codex. I didn't know what should be on there. I was reading Battle Scribe. I was asking people what would work for this, what would work for that. So, finally built it. We'll see when I finally paint it, Let's see. So, finished building that. I've been working on my Space Santa Mini. He's pretty cool and lots of fun, Mr. Inquisitor Saint Nick. I just need to learn how to paint flesh. Well, maybe not learn, just actually practice. I haven't done that. It's been this month is the 4th year I've been involved with 40K, and fourth year, and so I probably do need to start painting flesh, because why not? I did paint a Raven Guard Librarian. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah. I painted and built, for a game, which we'll talk about probably in a little bit, a Plasma Sergeant. Built him, painted him for this game. Just so you know, because I built and painted him, he of course rolled a 1 on his first shot. Immediately, yes. I threw the die, it came up a 1, I just looked at it. I was like, I haven't used plasma since, since a training game with Kieran, almost a year ago. So yeah, he did pass the save, so that wasn't a big deal. I also added some details to Missile Launcher Dude, and I painted a Melt-A-Gun guy from a 3-color minimum to a tabletop, well, a little bit past tabletop. This was a guy I built for our Killzone game like a year ago, when we were working the rules, and he was the guy who basically took out all of your orcs. Oh. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, vaguely.
Alright, he was sitting on top of ruins, and I had everyone else bubble wrapping him, and you couldn't actually get to him, so he just sat up there in this little ruined area and kept popping off every one of your orcs. Because you were running something happened and we didn't have the rules right or something like that, and so you had like a 2+ armor save, and Mr. Melt-A-Gun's like, I don't care. Boom. So so he finally got painted. So he's now actually been in another game since then because, I thought it'd be cool to have him in there. Let's see. So yeah, that's what I've been hobbying. I spent a couple of weeks on the road, so I didn't get to hobby on those 2 weeks. But yeah. But I do have hobby resolutions, which is coming up in a little bit.
All right, cool. Yeah, I have a little bit more hobby progress from the past couple weeks. Just spent all day yesterday. Finally feeling a lot better, and in addition to getting that terrain painted, I sat down with my Seraphon. So what I'm doing with those, I have like 5,000 something points of Seraphon. Now I noticed, I think like a 2,000 point game of Age of Sigmar is kind of like a 1,500 point game of 40k, I think. Because 5,000 points, I've only got like 144 models. Which, I mean, I guess that's kind of a lot, but not really. It's pretty great. I want to say thanks to ODA 184 from the Freebooter forum. Freebooters do a Secret Santa, the Deep Striking Santa, and he sent me a freaking Games Workshop case full of Seraphon. I don't know if they were his Seraphon or somebody off of eBay's Seraphon, but they were all built and the paint jobs were started on them. I mean, I sprayed over it, but whatever. It was like, I didn't have to build them anyways. That's pretty great. So what I want to do is I didn't really want to do a traditional Seraphon scheme. And I decided I kind of wanted to do all the shields and some of the armor is kind of a stone color. So I went through and I got some white glue and some sand and I mixed it. And I went through all day yesterday painting this white glue sand combo on the bases and on the shields and any exposed armor. Then I went through with typhus corrosion and I painted all of the stone and armor pieces with that for texture. The bases I'm gonna do kind of ancient ruins with some sci-fi aspects because, as listeners may know, my Seraphon have, like, the skinks have little pistols like Eldar, Dark Eldar pistols and stuff like that, and some of the Seraphon have Necron Gauss rifles, stuff like that. Because I'm running them as kind of their story is the great old ones, and they still have some of their technological stuff with them. So I did that, and last night I was up till 2 a.m. last night spraying, but I have to like go outside, spray it, and bring it right back inside.
Yeah.
So that it sets properly. So I wasn't able to finish until I got home this afternoon. But I did get home and I sprayed them and they all look great. They're all gray, but I'm not going to touch those until the knights are finished.
Yeah.
I want the knights to be done. Yeah, well, that goes without saying. The knights aren't getting touched until the terrain's finished. So,
yeah.
so there's terrain. That. There is, yeah. But I think that's it for what I've been up to. What about you? Is that it for what you've been up to?
I've got a couple of games in which.
I got games in, but I don't know how much. Gee whiz.
Well, because since I'm still having to be a hobby hero, hobby champion, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to go through and get games in with anyone I can, trying to show what the game is like to people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I played a couple of games. Played a Kill Team game with Alfredo, who he brought Eldar, my nemesis.
Well, lots of people's nemesis, to be perfectly honest.
That's true. Yeah. So we were using the Kill Team rules. I thought, hey, I'll go through and use the list for the Space Marines. It's a Raven Guard list. And so I painted the Plasma Sergeant and the Melt-A-Gun guy and Missile Launcher. And I got there, and I started looking at the list even closer and realized this is not a list I would ever take.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Like, there's nothing in this list that works with my play style. And so it was a rough game for me. It was a lot of fun, though. I had a lot of fun with it. I really do like Kill Team. I played a lot of it before I moved to New York. It looks like I'm going to be playing a lot of it again, and that's cool. And then, let's see, I played an 1850 game with Luis yesterday, and he brought Space Sharks. That's right, Space Sharks. And they were painted really well. I never really thought about well, it's not that I hadn't thought about the chapter, but his were all bloody. Like, he had blood all over them because they're space sharks, and my God, they're practically world eaters. And that was a really good close game. Like, the first few turns, it was definitely mine, but then, what was his name? Tiberos?
The Red Wake.
Yeah, he showed up and just started, like, punching and took out a drop pod by himself, just started smashing into it, Hulk smash. And boy, did he. Luis's space sharks are really well painted. He has a really nice contemptor. One of those contemptors that has, like, the double carries autocannons or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to run that dread, you should probably put that double
assault cannon.
Yeah,
it's like AP3, right? With like 8 trillion shots.
Yes, it chewed through my captain and the command squad. Just ate them.
Yeah.
And I had a command squad, I had an apothecary, and I was jinking, and just went right through them. It's like, well,
that's why okay. Mike bought Ultramarines. Mike got a bunch of. I think he got a couple, like 2 of those to add on to his plastic ones.
Oh yeah,
for the left arm or whatever, because that's apparently pretty good when you have autocannons shooting 80 billion shots.
I highly recommend it. He had the 2 assault cannons, and he had that missile launcher. I couldn't touch him. Just like every time I came close to assault, it was like, oh, you're going to assault me? Here, I'm going to Overwatch with everything. Die. And I did. So, he also had a Sikaran, which was really, really cool. I mean, I've got my Sikaran Venator, but that's a 30k tank, and he was like, where's your Venator? I'm like, I'm not doing 30k, but I should have, because 2 Sikarans on the board would have been completely cool. Let's see. So yeah, that was a close game. He got it in the end because basically that Dreadnought... Phrasing. Yeah, sorry, phrasing. Basically the Dreadnought was the man of the match. There was like not even a doubt on that vote. It just tore through me. I just looked at it, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take my Contemptor and go a different way with it. So, yeah. There we go.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, hold on. And if we have any listeners in the San Antonio area, this is going out on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I will be in San Antonio on Monday and Tuesday. Send us a message at Masters of the Forge, and maybe you can play against me, or I can play against you, or at least meet up. I'm definitely going to be at the GW in San Antonio on Tuesday, so I'm not sure I'm doing Monday, but Tuesday I definitely am doing that.
Okay.
So, yay!
Nice. Well, I'm gonna declare what we've been up to. Finish. Wow, that was a lot of what we've been up to. We've been up to a lot of stuff. Well, we've been away a while, and I don't apologize for that. So let's talk about what our hobby goals are for 2017. I know that there's a lot of talk about this and whatnot, and I think we shouldn't feel bad about having the same topic on our minds, because we're definitely people who we want to lay out the future and plan for it. That way we're not kind of stuck going, oh, what do I do next?
Yeah.
Hobby paralysis is not fun. So I guess in a generic fashion, I guess I should say, I got the knights.
Yeah.
Those are gonna, okay. So let's rewind that tape. I have a tournament coming up at the end of January. And
you should go to it.
Yeah, you should go to it. You should go to it, because I really need more people for it to be a proper GT. And if you're in the Northeast, I'm not going to be like, okay, wherever you are, fly to Albany, because Albany is fun in January.
Hey. I liked Albany. January was not my favorite time.
No.
But, there's some cool stuff in Albany. it's mostly you guys, but whatever.
Yeah, so that's just it. If you are interested in having a really great time,
Yes,
really great time with a lot of great people, either a competitive tournament or to enjoy our 40K friendly, which I'm currently having fun writing the missions for.
yeah.
And they're going to be simple. I'm not doing like crazy rules for those. It's just going to be fun events amidst very easy, fun missions to play. The competitive half of the tournament is going to be very competitive. We've got Sean Naden and Alex Fennell coming, among others. So that should be really, really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing those guys again. The rest of the guys from the portal, and some of the guys from down in New York are coming up, and from all over the place. So please check it out. Get that last GT before the Las Vegas Open. And yeah, I've been busting my butt on terrain. John's been busting his butt on terrain like crazy too. He's been building some of that Imperial terrain we're doing 2 tables. GW also sent us enough terrain to fill out 2 tables of kind of battlefield terrain instead of not just ruins, because we got like 7 boxes of Mechanicus terrain to make that Mechanicus table. In addition to that, we got like 2 of the Firestorm Redoubts, 2 or 3 Bastions, a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of Aegis Defense Lines and crap like that. So we're taking that plus the the Fortress of Redemption that we had.
Oh yeah, I saw those pictures.
Yeah, I saw that. I sawed that in half, and we talked about that. And John's got that painted up real nice, so that'll be really good. Those tables are going to be great, and so I'm committed to doing at least one more table, because I think we should be good to go with the rest of the terrain, actually.
Yeah.
Without me having to build a whole new table. So I'm going to we have about 4 or 5 more ruins, and I'm going to do that up as a overgrown jungle ruins. So I'm going to buy some fake some fake plants from Walmart, some fake plants off the internet. I'm going to build those up, and I'm going to do kind of an overgrown jungle city type thing, like a Imperial city that's overgrown with a jungle, and some like mega flora in there and stuff. So that should be cool.
Yeah.
What else? And after that, I'm just gonna kind of doctor up the rest of the MDF terrain we have, and I'm gonna save the Trenzalore table for another time. That's gonna be too much work for me to get finished. We got a couple of the Games Workshop, what do you call them? Graveyards.
The Garden of Moor.
Garden of Moor. Yeah, and what I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna make a table that looks like Trenzalore from Doctor Who. Trenzalore is where the Doctor. Spoilers.
They're not me this time.
Trenzalore is the planet where the Doctor meets his end, and when they go there, you know how the TARDIS is bigger on the inside?
Yeah.
Well, when a TARDIS dies, when it dies slowly, all the bigger on the inside starts to leak out.
Yeah.
And so the TARDIS is like enormous in the middle of this giant cemetery, and it's all broken and stuff. So I was gonna do a big TARDIS, like broken, massive TARDIS, and some like hills and rocks and stuff. So that'll be cool, but I'm not going to do it for this tournament because, like I said, I think we've got enough terrain for the people that are coming.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because
you
need terrain, and you've got a ton of people coming in. You need to have a considerable amount of terrain. So
yeah, exactly. And I am, like I said, I'm committed to really great terrain for everybody. So
yeah.
I'm really glad for that. So the Imperial Knight project is I have 5 more knights to paint, and like I said, they're gonna be in different dragons. And I think I'm gonna be able to finish those next week. Grendel, Tiamat, Falkor. Falkor is gonna be interesting because from the Neverending Story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna be there. I'm not sure. I think he might be like Deathwing color, but that might be very stark next to the black. So we'll see how that goes. Smog, Trog. I don't know if I'm gonna do Trogdor or not. That would be really stupid. And the Jabberwock and Tiamat and stuff like that. That might be cool. We'll see. And then of course after that we have the Age of Sigmar stuff, and after that, I don't know. I'm thinking about getting into Drop Fleet Commander.
Okay.
Do some Drop Fleet Commander. I'm not sure what all else.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've got some hobby progress challenge type commitments I have given myself. We'll talk more about that later, but
yeah.
I'm definitely looking for different things to do. More things to do. Oh, I guess I do have 40 Tactical Marines Mark III armor. I am strongly considering doing Emperor's Children with that. And by strongly considering, I mean I've already bought $15 worth of Chaos Space Marine decals.
So you're doing it. Okay, good. Let's just rip the Band-Aid right off the scab. You're doing
I don't know.
it.
I mean, okay, so I guess the Emperor's Children for $30K, you can do Cacophony as troops.
Yep.
And that would be really cool. I guess I would have to buy a lot of rhinos.
Yeah, and you'd have to build them. So, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see, I guess.
You have fun with that.
Yeah, I don't want to do the traditional 30K army if I'm doing Space Marines. And
what are you thinking about doing?
Like I was thinking about rarely using those Tactical Marines. I might just do Cacophony and ally. Can they? I don't know. I have to check it. I assume they can ally demons. Others can. I know the Word Bearers can. I don't see why the Emperor's Children shouldn't be able to ally in some Slaanesh demons.
Yeah, I haven't read a lot of... Like, I read Fulgrim, but I haven't read a lot of other stuff about the Emperor's Children, because after reading Fulgrim, I was not really interested in reading anything else about the Emperor's Children, so... Well,
whatever the case, I fully intend on using the models for Warhammer 40K as well.
Oh, yeah.
Using the Traitor Legions, so... I'll probably end up using some tacticals for that one for regular Chaos Space Marines and
do it.
And Noise Marines. My buddy Pat said he'd give me some old Noise Marine models, the guitar guys, to use as sergeants. That should be really cool.
I actually have 2 of those.
I'm not sure how many, of my firstborn I have to give away for that. Don't ask me how I have multiple firstborn. I'm playing Slaanesh. Anyways.
Hey, it's Slaanesh, man. Slaanesh has got everything. Literally everything.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to pad that out with lots of Slaaneshi demons. And I really like Brandon Batch's color scheme for the Slaaneshi demons. Mm-hmm. I don't remember, but I think I'm the one who actually gave him the idea for that. I don't know. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm taking credit for it. So yeah, he used actual flesh tones for his demonettes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They've gotten lots of comments from people, so I think that I have to do that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I bought the Greater Demon of Slaanesh from Forge World, the big 888.1 or 666.1, and painted it all in flesh tones?
You should do it. You should do it.
I think I might do the Chitin or Chitin, whatever.
Yeah.
The Chitin in like a diseased sores and boils color, So gross. Yeah. So gross. Anyways, yeah, I think that'll be cool, and add some, maybe do some crazy war machines. I don't know. As an orc player, chaos appeals to me because I can do lots of different conversions, so I can do these kind of weird chaos paint engines and stuff. I'm thinking about doing that.
That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. So, what are you thinking about doing in 2017, dude? What are your? Oh, you know what? One quick thing, the club, after the tournament, we're probably going to do a Zone Mortalis league, so I can use the board that you gave me, and I can finish that up. I can use my kind of orc scrapyard thing, and I can finish that Pillar World project that I started with those 1 foot by 1 foot squares of bottle caps.
Those are cool.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I might do that. That might be cool. And so some of the other guys have Zone Mortalis boards, and we have the trench table. So
the trench table. I never got to play on that, but it was really cool.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful table.
Yeah,
the Phil table, as we call it.
It is the Phil table
because he has Krieg.
Yeah, and Krieg don't care.
No.
Oh, we're in trenches? Here, I got something for you. Have my drill. Phrasing? Yeah.
So are you going to buy more Tyranids or what?
No.
Come on.
I'll talk about that in my resolutions. I do have actually wrote down, actually numbered these so I could remember.
Okay.
So one is I'm going to finish the Zone Mortalis board.
Mm-hmm.
So finish painting, adding details, blah, blah, blah. And I need to kind of finalize the transportation options on it so I can take it places. I'm considering using 1 foot by 1 foot moving boxes from Lowe's. I have quite a bit of experience with those due to my 3 moves in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So I've just got to figure that out. I'm actually talking with one of our listeners, Jordan, about this now through Facebook. Let's see. Then I'm going to finish my 30k Zone Mortalis Raven Guard. It's all built. I just need to finish painting it. Tax Squad, Apothecary, the Vigilator, and the Librarian are all finished. They just need some decals and or scenic bases. And I have the Mordathan Attack Support Squad of Flamers because, hey, we're in Zone Mortalis, and an Assault Squad to finish up. They're built, I just need to paint them. I've already started painting them, actually. Let's see what else. Space Santa, I am going to finish that guy. In fact, that's probably going to happen the next 2 weeks. I need to build more Bolter Marines for my Blood Ravens. Because I'm wanting to use them both as 40k and 30k. And 30k...
What was that?
What?
Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, I need more Bolter Marines.
Bolter Marines. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. For the Blood Ravens, because I'm going to use them both for 40k and 30k, but 30k requires numbers, and I just don't have the numbers of pure bolters that I should have. I just don't. I've played mostly 40k, and so I have a whole bunch of MSUs, and I can't fill out certain builds with all painted. So I need to build and paint some of those guys. I also need to finish building my Deathwatch team that's based on my lovely friends at the Flipside Gaming Store. I've already built your model. He's mostly painted. He needs details and some other stuff. And he's got the best base. In fact, he's just kind of really super rad, and I don't know if I quote unquote shot my load too soon. Yeah, phrasing. So I need to work on the rest of those guys and figure that out. And then one last thing, because I am trying to essentially rebuild, or at least build a community down here, I'm considering building a few different kill teams from other codexes. So Nids, I've got a bunch of Nids. Tau, I don't have Tau, but I'm going to pick up the Kill Team box in San Antonio this week. Or I'm going to try to. Orcs, because I do have a bunch of orcs, and a lot of them are built. I just need to start painting them. And I guess Inquisition / Imperial Agents. Basically a variety so that not everyone's having to deal with Space Marines, which at times, Space Marines can be a bit abusive. So, and if I'm doing kill teams, then I can go ahead and kind of learn these other codexes, because I don't know the Tyranid Codex at all. I don't know the Tau Codex either. Orcs I've looked at a bit, and I
played against them enough, I think.
I've played against orcs in Tau a lot, so I know. Yeah. I know what to expect. At least I've got a pretty good idea. But Nids, I played against Pete and a guy Joel at one of upstate or in North Texas. So I have very little experience with Tyranids, so I probably need to learn that book. So, So yeah, that's hobby resolution. Oh, also my other resolution, which is not really it's hobby related, is to keep picking up all these new codexes and campaign supplements and whatnot. Like I picked up Wrath of Magnus, and I started reading the Fluff book, and the first page of Fluff already was retconning Graham McNeil's, I think it's Graham McNeil's Thousand Suns book, like immediately. So I'm going to be reading that. I've got the Curse of the Wolfen book. I'm going to pick up the Cadia book whenever it comes out in a week or so. So, yeah. So I'm going to be keeping on top of a lot of books this year. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good springboard into the Masters of the Forge kind of hobby resolutions.
Yeah.
We definitely need to keep the focus on the narrative, which this particular episode is not helping. But
Nope. Well, hold on. Have I dropped any spoilers? Yeah, I could kind of drop a spoiler on retconning the Wrath of Magnus, so I am keeping the narrative focus on there.
So, yeah, I think it's really important that we keep up to date on these new. And I know I said this last episode, but definitely want to keep the focus on this campaign as it progresses, as the time of ending kind of progresses throughout the coming year. I don't want to do them the same month they're released. I think that's super spoilery.
Yeah.
So I guess after we talk about the Beast Rises, I say we move right into Wrath of Magnus and talk about it and talk about the missions. We'll continue to do Masters of the Forge Altar of War, which was pretty cool the last time. I know, Jason, you're thinking about doing one soon, and when we do the Wrath of Magnus, I assure you we'll have at least one of the missions from that as a Altar of War. Again, I did purchase a new microphone and microphone stand so that both of the participants can have their own microphone, so that next time it'll be easier to equalize the sound or normalize the sound. I never remember which is which, equalize, normalize, whatever. So, because clearly my voice is much louder than other people's voices. I can't imagine why. But that's about it. I mean, I know since we went weekly, it's been kind of more like 3 weeks a month. We're at like a 3.5 week average, or
somewhere in there.
3. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I think the quality has been better though. So that might not, again, each episode might not be something you're totally interested in, but at least each episode has its own focus and it has a fully realized kind of thought to it instead of kind of half-assing a segment or two. Well, let's keep it real. Like we we might have like in a 3-segment show, we might have 1.5 good segments, right? So now every segment is good, even if it's not something everyone's interested in. So that's
I liked our segments. I thought
they're great. So I think unless the listeners, that's you, unless you guys want us to change things up, we're gonna keep doing things the way we're doing them. Keeping them to like 1 segment per episode, unless there's an interview that absolutely has to go out.
Yep.
I think that's what's going to stay as for now. What do you think, Jason?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah?
Sounds good to me. I've been keeping more production notes, so it's easier for me to edit. So
well, when somebody says the word or hammer.
Okay, hold on. 58 minutes, 30 seconds. Don't worry, I'm going to bleep that.
Donald Trump, know. Barbara Streisand.
Wow.
Oh, good times. I'm going to try to rope-a-dope someone into doing an Age of Sigmar tournament up here. I want to play in an ITC Age of Sigmar tournament, and I'm not doing it. Straight up. Homie, don't play that.
I don't blame you. That's it's a lot of work to do, man. Tournaments are not easy.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done until next year. I can't wait for it to be over. I hate to say it, but I'm like, I want this to happen. I'm excited for it happening, but I'm also excited to take a nap.
Yeah. All right. So we got resolutions out of the way, right?
Yeah, we have resolutions out of the way.
Talk about...
Oh, how are you going to fulfill your resolutions? How are we going to fulfill our resolutions?
So, for those of you who are members of Facebook, I know not everyone likes Facebook, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
You can join and only join for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The
use
1
a
hour
fake user account, too.
Do what?
They could use a fake user account. Just like go in there as Joe Smith.
Oh, you mean like how my cats have Facebook accounts?
Yes.
Yeah. Or how I have 2 for myself, 1 for gaming and 1 for everything else. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you could do that, listener. You could go through and create it. Please bring in more noise to the Facebook signal. All right. So anyways, there's the 1 hour a night hobby group. Is that what they call themselves?
Whatever.
So anyways, this year they're doing a hobby intervention. And it's a new challenge, another new challenge. And it doesn't apply to everyone, but it does apply to a few people. A lot of us have a huge backlog of unassembled or unpainted miniatures and half-finished hobby projects. A quote-unquote veritable mountain of shame. So with that in mind, allow me to introduce the 1 hour a night hobby intervention challenge.
This is in addition to the usual thing.
Yeah.
Right? The usual, 1 challenge a month, whatever.
Yeah, this is you can go through, from what I understand, you can do this intervention challenge for the entire year as well as keep your monthly commitments.
Yes.
I'm actually considering doing this because I don't do well with monthly commitments in that, for those of you who haven't noticed, sometimes I have to go out of town for a couple of weeks, and that's just how my job is. So there are some months I don't get much done, and there are other months where I get lots of stuff done. It just depends on what's happening with work and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, reading James's letter here, announcement. In order to participate and begin the healing that all these models that are unassembled have inflicted upon you, gather a minimum of 100 infantry models or equivalent from models you already possess. So, for instance, average 40k vehicle / monstrous creature / AOS beast, Warmahorde's gargantuan, equals about 5 miniatures. Super heavy / gargantuan creatures from 40k, Age of Sigmar Beast plus Hero, Reaper extra large models equal about 10 commitments. Commitments must include a minimum of 50 infantry models.
Psh.
Yeah, we could do this. This would not be totally difficult. Go buy, if you want, go pick up a Burning of Prospero box. That might get it there, or maybe not. It's close. The remaining 50.
You need two. You need 2 of them.
That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
you want the Mark III
it's a great
armor.
Deal.
You want the Mark
deal.
III armor. Mark III armor loves you, and so do the Sisters of Silence.
Yeah, they do.
But all right.
I didn't mean it like that.
I know. All right. So, anyways, commitments must include a minimum of 50 infantry models. The remaining 50 can be a combination of infantry and non-infantry. Commitments may be in any stage of construction, any stage, up to and including priming. However, no highlight, shading work, any of that, just priming. Mm-hmm. If already painted models are to be stripped and repainted as part of the challenge, please note that in the commitment email. Now, you take a large group photo and photos of the individual groups of model. 1 photo per squad, vehicle, etc. You may double up on like models. See the example email and photos below. So if you go to the Facebook page, they've got this.
Wait, he wants a separate photo per squad?
Yeah, but if it's,
that sounds like a lot of work.
No. If you're doing 100 TAC Marines, which is considerable, that's 10 squads. So that's 10 pictures. Meh. Easy. So let's see, blah, blah, blah. Submit the photos to 1 hour a night. That's the number 1 hour a night at gmail.com. Please include your name or internet handle in the email along with a written description of what your pledge is by 23:59 Hawaii Standard Time on January 31st, 2017. So you've got until the 31st.
Like 70 o'clock or something? I don't know what he's doing there.
It's 1 minute before midnight Hawaii, whatever HST means. I don't know. I haven't been out there. I'm deprived for not going to Hawaii. All right. Complete the models and submit pictures of them in the same format to 1 hour night by 23:59 HST on December 24th. So, if you have Space Santa has to show up. You may submit the photos as you finish, but don't forget that a group shot will be required. So let's see. That's right. This is a year-long challenge based on a single commitment in January, this month, to complete models you already have this year. The main purpose...
it's kind of it's an insular group.
Yeah. You don't have to go through and buy, more stuff. You have to have them, I guess. I don't know. The main purpose is to reduce your backlog of models. You determine the pace of the completions, so this allows for a bit of distraction if you get some fresh shinies during the year. So let's say that lovely army that you've wanted forever, I don't know, Sisters of Battle. Mm-hmm. Then you could go through and paint some of those guys and not worry about that. Mm-hmm. You can still have your commitment ready. So, anyone completing their commitment will be entered into a drawing to win a substantial prize from Table War. Table War! Or Secret Weapon Miniatures. Full disclosure, I use the Secret Weapon Miniature skulls on all my Legion of the Damned because they're awesome.
So, in the past, I've told Jason to, not consider me for prizes. I think this year I'm going to be like, yo,
put me on there.
Put me on the list. Because whatever table,
whatever Table Wars got for us, yeah.
I'm sure it's actually very substantial. That's really cool. That's really cool of Doug and everybody over at Table War to supply prizes for the 1 hour a night group. That is awesome. Cool. Thank you guys.
All right, so let's see. Also, prize is to be determined by participation numbers. So if only one person participates, we'll see. So, please remember that, as always, this does not only apply to GW. All right, so if you want to go through with War Mahords or Infinity, etc., anything roughly the size of 40k infantry, which is about 28 millimeters or similar, can be used. Reaper Bones, smaller scale game units of infantry or tanks, drop zone ships, warjacks, beasts, relic busts, etc.
There have been a lot of people kind of nitpicking about, I mean, rightly so, about what constitutes a model.
Yeah.
Don't just use your better judgment, guys. If there's a problem with it, I think it'll. Having run a challenge like this before, the people running it are always very conservative about what they consider acceptable.
Yeah.
If you think it's acceptable and it looks good, then do it. If you have doubts about your model counting as either 2 models or whatever as a monstrous creature, then maybe you should err on the side of it not being good enough. You know, like don't put the admins on the spot. And congratulations to the 2 new admins on the 1 hour a night as well. Everybody go in there and wish them congratulations.
My recommendation is, as Adam was saying, go for more models.
Yeah.
Go big or go home. All
right? The answer is always paint more models. Duh.
Yeah. If you have like 150, throw down. Do it. Mm-hmm. You know you want to. You're drunk. Think about it. To finish up James' statement, if you do not have such a backlog, then I'd like to congratulate you and direct you to our normal monthly challenge. If you do, if you don't have that sort of backlog, I don't like you, but that's okay. I don't like myself either. That's all right. So if you do have a backlog and would like Motivation Finish, go gather your table of shame and get your entry pictures in. So yeah, come out to the 1 hour a night hobby group. Come hang out with us. I'm on there quite often. If you want, you can even friend me if you want. All you're going to do is see GW stuff, so whatever. Anything else?
No, I'm on there all the time. Every time I do something, I post something. So it's just so easy. I'm trying to keep up on stuff on forums as well, on both the Freebooter forums and on the IC's forums. But I'm not gonna post every picture I take there. The 1 hour a night group is great for that kind of instant gratification instead of showing the culmination of your work. You can kind of show your progress as you go and ask little questions, and people can give advice. That's kind of where I was at with the dragons. It was great getting all that advice like instantaneously. So that's really cool. I'm part of another challenge that I'm not sure if I should say anything about it, but it's kind of like the Playboy Ranch of hobby challenges. There's a small group of us. I think Justin from It Will Not Die came up with the idea. It's either that or Brian, Evil Space Elves. I can't remember which one of them came up with the idea, but it's 17 in 2017. And by 17, I mean 17,000. By 17,000, I mean 17,000 points. So 17,000 points minimum. And 365 models minimum. No exceptions. So you can use whatever, army you want. If you think if you want to do a Battlefleet Gothic fleet, sure, go ahead, use those points. But you still have to get your 365 models painted. So I think it's a good balance.
You are nuts. You are crazy.
What?
Yeah, man. I don't want anything to do with that.
I haven't actually calculated. So hold on. 17,000 divided by 1, 2 equals...
Oh, you're doing 1,500 points a month.
That's a lot of points a month.
1,400. Yeah.
1,400 points a month. So here's the thing. I only have I have 5,000 points of Seraphon, and I have 3,000-ish. 25. Oh, I've already technically painted 2 of those knights, so I don't actually have that many knights. I have 2,000. I have 2,000 points of knights, so that's 7,000. I have a little bit of Sisters of Battle and a few of those Chaos Space Marines, but I still need to come up with 8,000 points.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I'm sure I can get it painted. I just don't know if I want to spend the money. So I'm thinking the Seraphon, that's 144 models right there. That's fine. And if I do Chaos Space Marines, I think I'll just be like, I'm gonna buy 1,000 cultists. Let's do this. And I don't know. I need to figure out a way to kind of do this without breaking the bank. Because I said, I'm like, I want to buy Cacophony. Well, those guys are $250 if I want to buy 5 units of 5.
They're not cheap.
Right? They're like 35 pounds each. So that's a lot. So I don't know. Listeners, if you have any ideas for a cool army I can do, maybe there's another Age of Sigmar army in this, or I'm not doing orcs. Don't say orcs. Don't say 2nd edition Grots, because I will hit you in the mouth with a rock.
You're going to have to throw a really long distance to get me. I'd like to see you try. I'd have to
go suborbital to hit you.
Yeah. I'd like to see you try and get me with a rock from New York. You do that now.
Well, anyways, yeah, I wanted, I like I said, I'm pretty sure I can paint it without, and not like, oh, I'm just going to do some,
No, you're going to paint it well.
Overspray. I'm going to do some overspraying and that's it. No, these models are going to get painted well. It's just, I don't think I can afford it. So,
yeah,
especially with some of the trips I have coming up. So let's move into that, like the stuff we want to do for 2017.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about getting Gastric Bypass I'm well on my way to the minimum weight requirement, because I am really fat and I'm really old. So it would take, at the rate at which I can lose weight, I would be way too old to kind of reverse the effects of the weight.
Yeah.
Once I had lost the weight, so it kind of has to happen. So it's not easy. It's hard, but anyways, at any rate, no big trips.
So you're gonna do that? Well.
So no big trips, no big trips this year. So I want to do a lot of little trips. Joe from the Veterans of the Long War podcast, he's been inviting me to the Sector, which is kind of his basement for, at least I think it is, one of his buddies' basements. I don't remember. Anyways, a bunch of them get together to play 40K, and cool. I'm going there this Saturday, which should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to try to make it to those more often.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to make it to local events more often. I definitely want to keep going to the Portal.
Yeah.
I want to keep putting on like small tournaments, RTTs at our store.
Yeah.
And I think this summer I would really like to get up to Canada to visit with Mike.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
And to do a couple sessions with Mini Wargaming. I think that would be a lot of fun. So I think that's going to be kind of my social goal for this year. And if I can do that, I'll be happy. And then next year I can go to a tournament or something like that. I'd love to go to the West Coast. But got to talk to the missus about that.
Yeah.
I keep on saying I want to go to all kinds of different things, and I think she's getting tired of hearing about it. So,
well, my goal is to, of course, work on my local area, but to try and get out to some of the 30K narrative stuff that's happening. There are groups in San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Victoria, Austin, which are all about 2.5, 3 hours to 5.5 hours away. So, but I have places to stay in all these different areas. I won't be doing it this year, I don't think, but I'd like to go to Adepticon and or LVO, because that's something I'd like to do. So I'm starting to try and get out more myself. I need to pay off the rest of this move, but I think that'll be paid off pretty quick. So,
do you think you'd be interested in meeting me in Canada, or is that not something you'd want to do?
Well,
it's a pretty long flight.
I would love to see you. And I don't know what's happening with my traveling this summer. I could be in the state of New York for something, but I don't know yet.
Okay.
So,
yeah, let me know. Let me know if you want to do a trip to Canada to see Mike with me, and maybe do some mini wargaming battle reports. I'm gonna contact them soon and send them an email and see if they want to set something up.
Yeah.
But I guess that's it. We're just gonna keep on keeping on with Masters of the Forge.
Yep.
One quick thing. I am in a battle report on YouTube with my buddy James.
Yay!
It was recorded by
Ego Queen Alexis.
Ego Queen Alexis.
Yep.
Ego Queen Alexis on YouTube, and we're in there. Thousand Sons versus Tuska, the Demon Killer.
Ooh, nice.
So, that was a good one. It was she ran out of freaking recording space because I talk a lot, but
really,
and it's kind of not safe for work because I make some very interesting hand gestures during the video. so just keep that in mind. So next week, I think, or the week after, we should have a new episode with at least 2 of the books, maybe 3 of the books from The Beast Arises to discuss. And then after that we'll do Wrath of Magnus, and we'll take it from there. But until then,
play the game the way you want to.
Woo woo!
Yeah.
Thanks, listeners. 2017 in the house.
Have a good week, y'all.
Nailed it.
This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial, International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com. The music used in this podcast was made by Parad of the duo Sublevel 3. The track is used with his permission.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.